A lot can happen during a drop. Decisions have to be made. Sometimes it's simple. Go here. Go there. Pick up this. Kill that. But before you see an evac screen, a lot of important decisions gotta get made. Sometimes it's simple, and sometimes it's not.
You got that. Dead. Just holding team. He's dead.
Hey guys, this is possibly episode 1 of a series where I take you on a drop. The main focus is going over some of the decision-making processes I have from entry to possible evac. So it's more of a guide than anything. Special thanks to all my recent subs, it means a lot. If you enjoy cycle content and guides, subscribe so you won't be a nerd for the rest of your life. Now on with the video. The process really starts before we drop in. Since there's 2 of us, we discuss what missions we have and which are our priority if we have to choose. This gives us an idea of what paths we take once we find out what spawn and evac we get. We also discuss loadouts for basic synergy. Now we both know how to make balanced loadouts, so it's not likely that one of us is going to be limited in our ability to deal damage in a fight regardless of the range. It's more of an understanding of how that damage is going to be dealt. I have a bolt action while my duo has a 2x on his AR, so I can peek and front load damage while his damage is more consistent. My other weapon is a scrapper, so medium range is going to be lacking a little bit, which is something he can take into account. So loading in, the first thing I do is check the map as soon as I am able. Taking into account what missions we're on, we immediately make a plan to loop in the bottom left of the map and stash items at Swamp, gather toxin glands, kill mobs in the power plant, and possibly stash a tier 3 drive at comms if we can find one. I also have a job to kill mobs with a sniper rifle and to kill rattlers. We also have other missions and jobs available to us. However, given our spawn and our evac, this provides us the most efficient use of our time in terms of movement and getting jobs done. Since it's still raining from the previous storm, that means that we spawn right at the beginning of the day cycle. So the odds are good that no one is rushing our position since many will be spawning at the same time. We set out immediately to Swamp Camp to look for the stash items. I am making it a point of picking up 1 to 2 insulation and compound sheets each raid, so I have a steady supply of green extended mags, which I find very useful for the scrapper. I just happen not to have one this time. We roam a little from each other but keep constant communication on where we are and when we need to shoot. Generally speaking for us, we try to call out when we're about to shoot so the other doesn't instantly react to gunfire. I know that might seem a bit excessive, but we've learned to work out that way. This allows us to react instantly when shots fly since we're not waiting for someone else to call out that they're getting shot at. After finding the items and stashing them, we leave the swamp. We move to high ground in the rock pools as quickly as we can. It's a strong position that we don't want to fight from a lower position if we have to encounter somebody. My duo spends the time killing the ticks while I mostly scan the horizon for possible threats. He's making noise and it's going to attract people, so I'm just kind of there ready to see if anyone's moving towards us. Completing the task, we move on to the power plant. He concentrates on killing mobs while I roam the east side of the power plant and stay on high ground. I do so quietly. The sound my duo is making might attract people, and since we just came from south, most likely the place people would come at us from would be from that direction. So if they are running towards him, I can hear them potentially before they hear me and engage them before they're ready. We complete the task and move on to comms. We arrive at the main building when we hear a Manicore and a Rattler algo back at Rockpool's evac area. We can also hear a silenced Lacerator. Unsure which direction they will head to next, we decide if they're headed our way, we need to kill the Marauder before they arrive. We move to the southern comm pipe as a tactical control point when we start to hear them approach. They start to back off as we are determined to take that fight as long as we can maintain better positions. As we close to re-engage, we maintain a close far setup. This is useful when you have a single angle of attack to work with. The far player takes a wider angle as he will be safer from a follow-up if he's hurt. Close player watches and listens for movement and can capitalize or cover based on what happens to the far player. We move to close in, but due to an unforeseen geometry body slam by Fortuner 3, I have to move wide and close the distance. We switch positions. When I arrive below the platform, I can hear the second player is down by the evac and birds south of us tells us another team is coming. Once my duo does damage to the enemy at the top of the stairs, I capitalize. Poor aiming on my part makes the fight closer than it needed to be, and I inform my duo I will need time to heal. He calls out positioning, weapons, and shots of both teams while maintaining a defensive posture while I keep him in the loop of how much longer I'm going to need. I upgrade my armor set and I move back to him. I swear.
That's a whole new team,
Yep. We make it a point to control the high plateau as the climb ups can be easily defended. The other team's green.
Nice. This is the same.
Getting green. Body.
That's my last stim.
At this point, stim count starts to become an issue.
Giannis. Missed all the shots. Loading.
I'm half. Taking one stim.
He's dead.
I dropped some for my duo, and after dealing with the remaining member of the previous duo, we decided it is no longer beneficial to continue aggro. We strip the stims off the bodies, and we make our ways towards evac. Given that the gunshots in that area started when we were in comms, that area has been creating a lot of noise for some time now. The remaining duo only seemed to have green gear, so, having completed a decent amount of missions, grabbed some loot, armor durability starting to get lower, and stims not in an ideal position, we thought it best not to hang around that area and continue fighting. The path we took was to maximize cover, speed, and position. When moving from west to east on the southern part of the map, the plateau south of the water facility gives you a lot of options for line of sight, cover, and fallback positions while also avoiding mob aggro. We called in the evac thinking our drop was coming to a close, but as soon as we did, we hear someone mining below the cliff. That evac sound is very audible, so it is more than likely that they heard it. Maybe they thought we weren't going to be on them as fast as we were and decided that mining at the bottom of the massive cliff was a good idea. Not wanting to give them an opportunity to push us while we were trying to evac, we pressed the issue while we still held a very dominant position. We took some pop shots while we were evacing, but a smoke screen made that a non-issue. Nothing too outstanding in terms of loot, but a good amount of missions got done, upgraded my greens to blues, a lacerator that will immediately sell for 94 XP and 9400 K marks because that gun is doo-doo, and a Mark II PDW along with a bunch of other house cleaning items I'll be using for either crafting or upgrading quarters. I am thinking about making this type of video a series. Let me know what you think. If you like it, share it, subscribe, like it. Any feedback would be helpful in terms of what works and what doesn't. If you're new here and looking for more guides, you can check these out. Thanks for watching and good hunting.